Hi guys, welcome again to my channel, and on this video I'm going to share you my 4 years in German, and I'm sharing it while I'm in Kenya, while I'm on my motherland in Africa village, in an African village. So I'll be sharing you my 4 years life in German, my achievements in those 4 years. What did I do? What was my dream? Did I get something, or did I achieve something? That is what I'm going to share to you right now. So to begin with, I traveled to Germany 2021 in June. That is when I went to Germany. It was 9th of June. Yes, so I traveled from here was 8th, and then I got there on 9th of June because I traveled overnight. And then that's where my other life in Germany began. And in this life, when I got there, of course, I traveled with a marriage visa. We got married 2021. Then I had to go to school, did a little German language, and this there is it. How do they call it? Leben in Deutschland. There is that certificate that they need it, especially when you need to apply for a passport in German. Then you need to have this certificate. So that is the first thing I did. And my first job, I got it in 2022. March 2nd of March, that's when I started working on my first job. Of course, I had applied it on February, and then a week later I got this job. And now, before I traveled, or before I left my country, my home country, and went to Germany, I had one dream. First, to better my life, or to better my family's life, or to have something back at home. And as I have said in other videos, that's the dream of every African person. Because to be honest, in our country, I don't know about other African countries, but I think it's almost the same. In Kenya, it's very hard, even if you have certificates. Also, to get a reasonable job, it's really very hard. And if you get just something as a job, the payment is also very little. And yeah, so the job I had in Kenya, I was being given 9,000, and I worked very hard on that job until I could open my own restaurant here in Kenya. But still the money was not so good. But then what broke me was that some people came and broke the shop for me, or the cafe, and then stole some of the things. So you see, that was taken, I was taken a little bit backward. So when I went to Germany and I started working, the idea of buying a piece of land came. And let me show you this I bought. We have been living in rental houses for all our lives, and you know, like, it's not easy. Also, you have to pay the rent, you need to look for money for food and everything else. So this was my dream, to buy a space and build something, a house. That was my first dream. So this is my achievement, like me traveling to Europe, specifically to Germany. It was not in vain. I was able to achieve something. I bought first this land the same year I started working in 2022, although I was paying it little by little. I didn't pay it at once. I couldn't afford to pay it at once. So I was paying it step by step until the good thing is that the person we got was understanding. So he allowed us to pay bit by bit until we could finish paying. Then after we paid, I finished paying, then we started with the first small house. There's this small house there. That is what we started with, because once you construct a place, or once you acquire somewhere, you need to construct a little house, at least to be able to employ someone who will be guiding the land for you. Otherwise, you will come back and find people have planted their things, or maybe they have sold it to another person. And since we were not coming from near, although we bought it almost in Mombasa, but a little bit far, So since we were not from around, we had to, at least the first thing was to build this small house for us to find someone who would be able to stay inside there. So after we finished this small house right here, this was my first building, just a small space, and now we had to find someone to stay there. Bought a small solar, it's on top of the house, and then we built a toilet. Of course, you cannot stay without a toilet. So this was my first building, the small house and a toilet for the person who was going to be staying here, at least to have a space to shower, to be able to have a place to shower when he wants to shower, and also a space to ease himself. And this is a dog's house. So later we started with that house there, right there, and before that we had to make this one, the iron sheet space. There we made it for storage so that we could store the materials, especially the the cement. That is where we were storing them, and any other building materials. And now we started with the big house. The small house and that big house started both in 2023. So 2023 in February, March, we started with the small house, and then later in October I started the big house. October, November, somewhere there, that's when I started this house. Now this house have been going slow because I told you I have to save. Not saving, like first we buy the materials and then we look for money for the people to build, the constructors and so on. So like just pace. I said we have the land already, so we don't need pressure. We just go a step at a time. Construction, it's very expensive. So this one, if you need to do it completely, then you need to save a lot of money. And you can't save, especially coming from Africa. It's hard for you to completely save so much money, because especially it depends also where the family you are coming from. So if your family is well off, then you may just save and decide to build it at once. But for me, we start step by step. So while this house was still being constructed, remember, now the supervisor the person was coming from my family could not come here every day, because one, it's a lot of transport. So the person who was supervising was the person we employed. And later we saw there was a lot of play, especially with the constructors, because the house was not moving and you are paying them every day. We used to pay, or we still pay them 1,000 a day. So we decided to abandon that house shortly and make this one, so that family could come here and stay here to supervise the big house. So we had to build the second house here, and now after we finished this one, we continued. Now when we finished building that house, this one of course, and a family came. Now we decided to make chicken house for chicken and goats. That was in 2024. We started the chicken part. So we made this one here. There are 3 of them. When you go to the other side, you see there are 3 doors. This is a room, this is one, and the other one. So we decided to make this one for the chicken, and also we started to make goats. You've seen the goats from the starting of the video, and now the other small ones for dogs. Yeah, and this is my achievement. When I went to Germany, I wouldn't say that it was bad. Whatever I earned, at least after paying what I'm required to pay back there, of course, taxes, insurance, and everything else. I thank God for my husband. He let me do this, because Like, it's just God. He's God. So here we have some ducks, we have some chickens, and a lot of them for that matter. The dogs are laying down there. We have 4 dogs. There are small ones and the 2 big ones. And yeah, you can see, like, we have to be, as I said, please, I'm not doing this for a show. This video or in my channel, there is no boasting or showing off. Like, this, my channel is all about encouraging, sharing what I've gone through, sharing the challenges, giving testimonies, encouraging you people, because I had a dream and it was not easy. My dream, I was able to achieve it, or to start achieving it at the age of 35. Not 35, yeah, 35. Not because that I was lazy when I was in Kenya, but because there were no opportunities, or maybe the opportunities were there, but you need to be able to know someone who is on a higher space for you to get that opportunity. I tried working, I was employed, I had my own business. I even sold the detergents before even I got the business. I got employed, and you know, there's a story of me having my legs broken and so on. Like, my life, it's just a testimony. I've gone through a lot. I've passed through a lot. I was not lazy. I tried my level best to do what I could. But to be honest, with 9,000 Kenyan shillings, you can't do much. Like, that one is just for the rent and some food, and you may not even be able to survive with 9,000 for the whole month, because if you minus the rent, you pay the electricity, you need the transport to go to your working space, then it's not enough. My videos are just to encourage you. Please don't take it bad. Feel encouraged and know that everything is possible. I started my own when I was 35 years old, so it's never too late to start your dream. It's never too late. The little you'll be able to do, just appreciate and know that is the right time. What do I say? Because I was struggling, I was trying it before, I could not achieve. But traveling to Germany, then I was able to achieve at least something. The house is not complete. As I said, it's now on pause. I think I will start it again next year by the grace of God, because of lack of capital and everything else. But at least I know there's something. There's a project that I'm doing and it's standing, and yeah, God is faithful. One step at a time, having the faith, hoping for the best, believing in whatever you do, having the patience and so on. Don't stress yourself. Don't rush to things that are not good. Just be patient and wait for God's time, because God's time is always the best. Yeah, the goats right there, I'm planning to buy. But that one, my plan is after I finish roofing this house. I really, yeah, it's a little bit stressy, but still I thank God for everything. He will make a way where it seems to be no way. Thank you so much, guys, for your support. May God bless you so much, and meet me again on my next